In May 2017, a shocking crime sent waves of disbelief across Thailand. Deep in the forests of Khao Suan Kwang District in Northeast Thailand, a farmer stumbled upon a chilling sight. Two plastic containers hidden beneath large sheets of metal. Curiosity quickly turned to horror as he opened the containers to find the dismembered remains of a young woman. What made this discovery even more unsettling was that the victim had once been known as a radiant, happy bride, married just 3 months earlier. Who could commit such a heinous act? And how did what initially seemed like a straightforward case unravel into a web of secret love triangles? The gritty underbelly of bar life, and a tale of bloody revenge? As suspects emerged, the story became about more than just a brutal crime. It also delved into unexpected fame, brazen defiance of public opinion, and fierce debates about the justice system. Stay with us until the end of this video as we unpack this shocking and dramatic case. A picture-perfect life and a horrifying discovery. In early 2017, in the district of Khao Suan Kwang, a newlywed couple seemed to embody marital bliss. The wife, Warisara Klinjui, was a 22-year-old woman known for her youth, beauty, and warm personality. Her husband, Sakshai Bupthongdi, 38, was a wealthy and skilled construction contractor. Despite Sakshai's frequent business trips, he always prioritized spending time with Warisara when he returned home. Their devotion to each other became a local symbol of the perfect marriage, admired by many. But by the spring of 2017, their idyllic life took a tragic turn. To understand what happened, we need to go back to May 25, 2017. It was a quiet Thursday morning when a local farmer ventured into the woods of Khao Suan Kwang, searching for mushrooms. He ran an ecotourism farm and planned to prepare a special dish for his guests. Mushrooms often thrived in dry, shady patches of grass, and he was keen to find the best spot. As he foraged, he noticed a pile of dry grass covering 3 large metal sheets. Thinking this area might conceal fertile ground for mushrooms, he approached. However, as he got closer, an overpowering stench hit him, forcing him to hold his breath. Curiosity compelled him to investigate. He moved the metal sheets aside, uncovering a shallow pit with 2 plastic containers inside. The foul odor grew stronger. Overcome by a mix of dread and curiosity, he opened one of the containers and found a black garbage bag. When he peeled it open, he froze in shock. Inside were dismembered human remains. Overcome with fear, the farmer fled the scene and immediately called the police. When authorities arrived, they cordoned off the area and launched a full investigation. Inside the 2 plastic containers, they discovered the dismembered torso of a woman, cut into 2 separate parts. Forensic examination revealed horrifying details. The victim's body had been severed at the waist, with her arms dismembered and internal organs removed. Although there were signs of a struggle, there was no evidence of sexual assault. A deep ligature mark around the victim's neck confirmed the cause of death, strangulation. The estimated time of death was between May 23 and May 24, 2017. Despite the state of decomposition, investigators noted the victim appeared to be a young, slender, and attractive woman. Fingerprints were taken, and a distinctive butterfly tattoo on her body became a crucial clue. Using a list of recent missing persons, police began piecing together her identity. By that evening, the victim was identified as 22-year-old Warisara Klinjui, a bar hostess. Her mother had reported her missing just 1 day earlier. The victim's complex life and the first suspects. Warisara had been married for only 3 months at the time of her death. Her marriage to Sakshai Bupthongdi seemed peaceful and harmonious. She was known for her friendly demeanor and had no apparent enemies. But as the police dug deeper, they uncovered surprising secrets about her life. While Warisara worked as a bar hostess on the surface, Her activities also extended into prostitution. In her line of work, she often formed intimate connections with clients, sometimes maintaining private relationships even after her marriage. One of those relationships involved a woman named Kobe, with whom she had been romantically involved. With this information, police identified two primary suspects. The first was her husband, Sakshai, who may have discovered her infidelity and killed her in a fit of rage. The second was Kobe, her lover, who might have been driven by jealousy and unable to accept Warisara's marriage. Kobe was the first suspect brought in for questioning. She told investigators that she had been unable to contact Warisara since the night of May 22nd. On May 24th, she even called Warisara's mother to check in. During the conversation, Warisara's mother revealed that Sakshai had been away on a business trip since May 20th, and Warisara had not accompanied him. Suspecting something was wrong, Kobe urged Warisara's mother to report her disappearance to the police. Throughout the interrogation, Kobe was cooperative and provided a solid alibi, quickly ruling her out as a suspect. However, she didn't shy away from pointing fingers at Sakshai, Warisara's husband, as a likely culprit. Sakshai was summoned shortly after. He expressed profound shock upon hearing about his wife's brutal murder and adamantly stated that he had been away on a business trip since May 20th. Sakshai denied any prior knowledge of his wife's extramarital relationships, claiming he only learned about them through the media, which left him deeply heartbroken. To verify his account, police reviewed surveillance footage from his workplace. The recordings confirmed that Sakshai had been present at the construction site from May 20th to May 25th, supervising operations. His colleagues corroborated this, further strengthening his alibi. With clear evidence supporting his claims, the police ruled Sakshai out as a suspect. At this point, the case stalled. With no significant leads, the police had to broaden their investigation and remain patient. Eventually, their persistence paid off when a breakthrough emerged. A surveillance camera clue, the killer revealed. The last confirmed sighting of Warisara was on the afternoon of May 23, 2017, while she was working at a bar. Surveillance footage from a nearby convenience store and ATM revealed that later that evening, Warisara withdrew money from an ATM and then entered a car with a man. The footage captured the man's face and the vehicle's license plate. Using facial recognition technology, authorities identified the man as Brazen, a 22-year-old married man who also worked at the same bar as Warisara. The car Brazen was driving was a rental, and its trajectory indicated they were heading toward the border. Brazen was quickly added to the list of prime suspects, and a nationwide warrant was issued for his arrest. On May 27, 2017, Brazen and his wife, Jitterat Promkin, 21, were apprehended. In Jitterat's handbag, police discovered Warisara's phone, which they had intended to sell. Under questioning, Brazen admitted to being involved in the crime but claimed that his wife had no knowledge of the murder. According to him, Jitterat's only role was assisting him in disposing of Warisara's belongings. Brazen implicated another person as the true perpetrator, a 25-year-old woman named Priyanuch Nanwangchai, another bar employee and colleague of Warisara. Police brought Brazen to the crime scene for a reenactment. Combined with other collected evidence, the pieces of this grisly puzzle finally began to fall into place. The shocking truth about the crime and its motives was gradually revealed. Priyanuch Nanwangchai, a bar hostess, was well known on social media for flaunting a lavish lifestyle filled with luxury brands. She cultivated the image of a wealthy socialite, but in reality, her life told a different story. Raised in an unhappy family in Kon Kaen province, she dropped out of school at a young age to make a living. Over time, she saved enough money to undergo cosmetic surgery, completely transforming her appearance. Despite her striking looks, Priyanuch secretly worked as a prostitute and even streamed adult content online to supplement her income. a stark contrast to the polished persona she portrayed on social media. A grudge fueled by debt and betrayal. Although Prayanach and Warisara seemed to be friends, their relationship had soured a year earlier. Warisara owed Prayanach 40,000 baht, around $1,200, but had failed to repay the debt over the course of a year. Adding to the tension, Prayanach's boyfriend had been arrested for drug trafficking, and she suspected Warisara of tipping off the police. Consumed by anger, Prayanach devised a plan for revenge. She enlisted the help of two friends, Kawita Rachada, 25, and Apawan Satayabund, 28. Together, they approached Wazen Nampram, asking him to pose as a client to lure Warisara out of the bar and into their car. That evening, Warisara unsuspectingly agreed to get into the car, but when she saw the three women led by Prayanach inside, she immediately sensed danger. Panicking, she tried to escape but was quickly overpowered. The group viciously assaulted her, taunting and threatening her. During the ordeal, Warisara screamed, "If I survive, I won't let you get away with this. I'll kill you all." Her words only fueled the group's rage. As emotions boiled over, Wazen, who was driving, stoked the fire further by saying, "Better to kill her than leave any witnesses." His words pushed the group over the edge. In a fit of fury, Prayanach used a plastic bag to strangle Warisara while the other two women restrained her arms and legs. They stopped only when she was lifeless. When they realized Warisara was dead, the group showed no remorse. Instead, they coldly deliberated how to dispose of her body. They decided to buy a saw, plastic containers, black garbage bags, and large metal sheets. Wazen drove to a nearby ecotourism farm and rented a room, where they dismembered Warisara's body. They wrapped her remains in garbage bags and placed them into two plastic containers. The group then transported the containers to a remote forest. After digging a shallow hole, they dumped the containers inside and covered them with large metal sheets to conceal the evidence. Once their gruesome task was complete, they began planning their escape. Wazen took his wife, Jitterat, to Laos, instructing her to destroy Warisara's belongings, including her cell phone. Meanwhile, the three women drove for 11 hours, eventually crossing the border into Myanmar to evade capture. When Wazen's confession was corroborated, Thai police moved swiftly. They sealed off border crossings, issued arrest warrants for the three female suspects, and coordinated with Myanmar authorities to track them down. The hunt for justice was now underway. The strange fame of the killers and their escape journey. In the days following the shocking crime, the story dominated the headlines of major news outlets. The sensational tale of this love triangle quickly went viral. Among the suspects, Prayanach Nanwangchai, the mastermind, became the unlikely center of public fascination, earning the media nickname Sweet Killer. What baffled the public even more was the trio's brazen attitude. Despite being the target of an intense manhunt, the three women appeared unconcerned about evading capture. They openly posted selfies on social media, flaunting their calm and confident demeanor. Photos of Prayanach looking relaxed and stylish stunned the public, with some young fans even idolizing her as a fashion icon. Her outfits and accessories became instant hot trends, sparking demand across the country. However, many others condemned the group's behavior, insisting that their actions warranted harsh punishment. In an emotional interview, Prayanach's sister urged her to turn herself in, expressing that their family was ready to support her through the ordeal. A week after the murder, collaboration between Thai and Myanmar police led to a breakthrough. The trio had been spotted in Tachalek, a bustling border town in southeastern Myanmar. Surveillance footage from a clothing store captured the three suspects casually shopping in public. Upon receiving the tip, authorities quickly surrounded the area and launched a search operation. Realizing they had no escape, the women decided to surrender. During her confession, Prayanach admitted that they had crossed into Myanmar just before the border closures. Leveraging their striking appearances, they secured jobs at a local bar. However, as the police search intensified, they retreated to a smaller town to avoid detection. Recognizing that their situation was unsustainable, the group concluded that turning themselves in was the best option. Dramatically, the three women walked into a local police station to surrender, further capturing media attention. They were promptly deported back to Thailand. The bizarre escort and social media frenzy. What happened next added another layer of intrigue. During their transfer to a Thai detention facility, the three suspects displayed no signs of worry or fear. They weren't handcuffed like typical criminals. Instead, the police escort appeared almost casual, with officers chatting and laughing with the women as if they were traveling with friends rather than prisoners. Far from being tense, the trio seemed to revel in the attention. They smiled, laughed, and appeared to enjoy the spotlight, behaving more like celebrities than criminal suspects. Some officers even provided snacks and drinks, and a few reportedly asked to take selfies with them. The scene resembled a fan meet and greet more than a prisoner transport. This surreal spectacle fueled further controversy, sparking outrage on social media. Critics accused the authorities of treating the suspects with undue leniency and glamorizing a gruesome crime. Yet, the public's morbid fascination with the case only continued to grow. Even after being detained, the surreal treatment of the suspects continued. They were reportedly allowed to use mobile phones, apply face masks, and chat casually with prison staff. Before their press conference, the trio leisurely smoked cigarettes and meticulously applied makeup, ensuring they appeared camera-ready and beautiful for the media. This sparked a wave of outrage across social media. Many criticized the preferential treatment given to the suspects, especially considering the heinous nature of their crime. Weerasara's mother, devastated and furious, voiced her indignation. "I cannot accept that the people who killed my daughter are being pampered like this." As public anger grew, the police defended their actions, stating that they were simply upholding the suspects' legal rights. Until convicted, they argued, the suspects were still citizens entitled to fair treatment. However, in an attempt to quell the backlash, two officers who had been photographed with Prayanach were reassigned. The much-anticipated press conference drew immense media and public attention. During the event, the suspects recounted the entire crime in chilling detail, corroborating Wazen's earlier testimony. Hearing the account directly from the perpetrators made the story even more shocking. Key phrases like newlywed couple, bar hostess, dismemberment, same-sex love triangle, and sweet killer quickly became trending topics across forums and social media. The case not only ignited heated discussions, but also turned related items into a bizarre pop culture phenomenon. The handbag carried by the trio during their arrest became a sought-after fashion item, selling out in stores. Even the saw used to dismember Weerasara's body was replicated as a novelty keychain and sold widely. The trial and a controversial ending. As the initial media frenzy began to fade, an unexpected Facebook post reignited public interest. 8 months after the crime, the trial commenced at the Khon Kaen Provincial Court. Prayanach, Kawita, Apiwan, and Wazen faced charges of murder and other related offenses, while Jitarat, Wazen's wife, was charged with theft. Weerasara's mother, carrying a portrait of her late daughter, stood outside the courthouse praying for justice, hoping the perpetrators would receive the harshest punishment under the law. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere was tense. The gruesome details of the crime, the suspect's unrepentant demeanor, and the public's emotional investment in the case made the trial one of the most controversial in Thai history. How the court would handle this case and the sentences handed down would mark the final chapter of this unsettling story. During the trial, an unexpected incident once again sparked public outrage. Court rules strictly prohibited mobile phones. Yet a Facebook post surfaced featuring a screenshot of a chat with Prayanach. In the conversation, she wrote, "I'm in the courtroom. Thank you, everyone, for not abandoning me even though I'm a suspect." The post also included a selfie of Prayanach and her two co-defendants posing with heart-shaped hand gestures inside the courtroom. Their carefree demeanor starkly contrasted with the grief and anger of the victim's family outside. This blatant disregard for legal proceedings became a hot topic on social media. Many were infuriated by the group's arrogance and criticized the justice system for allowing such actions. Others expressed concerns about the broader implications for Thailand's legal credibility. Surprisingly, Prayanach's fans celebrated her actions. They viewed her behavior as rebellious and even saw her as innocent. The courtroom photos only amplified her status as a social media star, further fueling her cult-like following. In court, the prosecution argued forcefully that the defendants had deliberately murdered Warisara, disrespected the justice system, and deserved harsh punishment. Conversely, the defense claimed that the group did not intend to kill the victim initially, suggesting their actions stemmed from losing control after being provoked. They emphasized that the suspects had turned themselves in, demonstrating remorse and warranting leniency. Standing before the court, Prayanach abandoned her previous defiance, stating, "We didn't intend to kill her at first. I feel deeply guilty and have been unable to sleep peacefully since. I'm ready to accept any punishment to ease my conscience." The judge condemned the group's crime as unforgivable, but acknowledged their surrender and cooperation in the investigation as mitigating factors. The court handed down the following sentences. At Prayanach Non Wangchai and Kawita Rachada, 34 years and 6 months imprisonment. At Apawan Satayabund, 33 years and 9 months imprisonment. Brazen Nampram, 23 years, for months, and 20 days imprisonment. Ajitarat Promkin, Wazen's wife, 1 year imprisonment for theft. Additionally, the 4 murderers were ordered to pay the victim's family 1 million baht in compensation, 100,000 baht for funeral expenses, and 7.5% annual interest from the date of the crime. The sentencing officially closed the case, but its societal impact lingered. Prayanach's fans protested the verdict, calling it unfair and demanding reduced sentences. Meanwhile, others voiced concerns over the disturbing social phenomenon surrounding her fanbase and the glamorization of her crime. The case left a deep mark on Thai society, prompting reflection on the intersection of justice, media, and public fascination with infamy. Psychologists have begun dissecting the perplexing phenomenon of public support for Prayanach. They attribute her allure to a combination of her striking appearance, dramatic displays of a lavish lifestyle, and her rebellious persona. As sensational stories about the case flooded social media, the public's natural curiosity was piqued, drawing them to the central figures of the crime. In a tearful interview, Prayanach's sister reflected on the aftermath of the case and the overwhelming media scrutiny. From the moment the case came to light, the media painted my sister as a cruel, evil woman who deserved punishment. These harsh narratives didn't just target Prayanach, they extended to our family, friends, and loved ones. Every day, we face judgmental stares, malicious rumors, and an endless barrage of hateful comments online. But at least the trial revealed that my sister's crime was not premeditated, offering some measure of truth amid the chaos. After pausing to compose herself, she continued, "I hope the public can see the situation more fairly. Don't rush to attack uninvolved individuals based on one-sided stories. Please give Prayanach a chance to atone for her mistakes. She was wrong, but that doesn't mean she doesn't deserve the opportunity to rebuild her life." Yet, despite the possibility of redemption for the perpetrators, the irreversible loss remains. Warisara Klinjui, a vibrant, beautiful young woman with dreams of a bright future, had her life cut short at just 22. Her sister's words served as a sobering reminder. prompting the public to consider the case not only from the perspective of the perpetrators, but also through the lens of the victim's family, whose grief remains immeasurable. The trial's conclusion brought a sense of closure in the legal sense, but the wounds left by the crime lingered deeply in the hearts of both families involved and society at large. The case stands as a stark lesson about the far-reaching consequences of crime, the role of media in shaping public perception, and the need for a more compassionate approach to justice. What are your thoughts on the perpetrators of today's case? Share your opinions in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Decoder Box for more gripping crime stories from around the world. See you in the next video.